Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ServiceNow Interview Guide. In the series of job role interview questions, today we are continuing the ITSM series. This is part 2. Let me share my screen and start the questions. So the question number 11 is a customer says, just copy our old ITSM tool exactly in ServiceNow. So what you should do in this case? Very interesting question. Okay. So basically, yes, you should not copy the old tool exactly into ServiceNow because if you copy it, you will also have to copy the old problems and the bad designs. So this is not the good approach. So first of all, you have to ask the customer why they want exact copy of the tool. Then you have to listen to their reasons, like maybe fear of change or comfort with the old screens. After that, you can compare their current process with the standard ServiceNow ITSM features. Okay. Then you can show them simple benefits of using out-of-box ServiceNow things like routing, SLAs, all these things. And finally, when you and customer are on the same page, you can go ahead and do the implementation. So guys, before you move forward, I have a good news to share with you. So in my English channel as well as in my Hindi channel, I have opened the membership, and this membership is there for someone who is looking to learn ServiceNow from scratch. Okay, even though you are not a technical person, but this is for you. And we already have started with various videos with respect to ServiceNow admin. After that, we are going to discuss ServiceNow development, asset management, web services, all the courses which are there to provide a complete foundation for a ServiceNow developer or ServiceNow architect. Okay, so we go in deep in both English and Hindi. So if you want, you can subscribe to our membership because this is the only platform here in which you see the structured content on the latest release of ServiceNow, that is Australia or whatever comes there. Okay, so I am giving you live demos. I am giving you great examples. Thank you so much. See you soon. Next question number 12. How do you tell the customer their change process is overcomplicated? So being an ITSM consultant, it is your job to look into the process. And if you switched your job and you are in a new company and you saw the change process is complicated, then you have to tell them, but how, we will discuss here. Okay. So basically you should not tell the customer directly that their change process is bad without any evidence, right? Because if you say like that, they may become defensive and they will stop listening to you. You map their current change process step by step and collect some real examples, and then use some data and show the issues which you see there, like long approval chains, delays, and too many change types. Okay, all these things you have to collect the evidence, and then after that you compare it with a simple model of ServiceNow, which is standard, normal, and emergency changes. So once you have the data, once you have the evidences, once you have the example, then you propose a phased simplification, like reducing the step or grouping the approvals, or using a clear risk model there. And finally, then you can show how simpler processes in ServiceNow will reduce time as well as effort, as well as make the change more simple and more efficient. Okay. How do you handle aggressive SLA that IT cannot realistically meet? So in this case, you should not simply accept the aggressive SLA that IT cannot deliver, right? Because if you configure unrealistic SLAs, it will create constant breaches and frustration for customers as well as the IT service provider. Okay, so first you use historic data to show the current performance for different priorities. Okay, then you involve operation leaders to explain kind of limitations like team size and working hours. After that, you walk through what if scenarios together, okay, to show expected reach rate with the requested targets. So basically in this, we are showing them, the result of unrealistic SLAs. And then you negotiate more realistic SLAs and propose a phased plan to tighten the SLA over time. Next question is, almost every ticket is logged as priority one. How do you fix this? So it is a kind of hypothetical situation which an interviewer asked you. Okay, so what you do, you should not accept a situation where almost every ticket is logged as priority one. Because if everything is P1, then in reality, nothing is truly P1 and the team loses the focus. Okay, so first you check the existing priority metrics and ask how agents are trained to use it. Okay. And then it's your job to try and understand why people are always choosing P1. What are the reasons behind that? Is there any pressure or some unrealistic rules are there? Okay. After that, you have to redesign the impact and urgent matrix with a simple concrete examples in each level with each priority. And then you have to provide training to the agents when to use P1, P2, or P3. Okay, maybe restrict who can set the P1 manually. Not everyone can select or raise it to the P1. You can have such kind of restriction or validation as well. And finally, you monitor the data to make sure P1 uses come down to realistic level over time. Okay, let's move to next question. How do you approach multi-country or multi-business units ITSM on one instance? So this is a realistic question, and basically you should not build completely separate processes for every country or business unit, right? Because if you do that, your instance become very complex and reporting it's kind of nightmare. So now it's your job to decide what is global and what is local based on certain steps, status, or fields. Okay. And you should have certain criteria to identify that. Based on that, you can design a common global process. Okay. And allow controlled local variation when needed. Then you have to use various ServiceNow utilities like groups, business rules, or catalogs, where you can easily differentiate between the regions. Okay. And finally, when it comes to reporting, there also you should have proper distinction between local and global. How do you design service catalog so it does not become a huge confusion list? Yes, this is a real-time thing. Service catalog can be a headache. People have designed it in such a complexity that nobody will able to find any catalog item there, what they are looking for. Okay. So in this case, what you should do? So basically, you should not create service catalog by just dumping every request as a separate request item. Because if you do that, user will see huge confusing list of items and they are not able to decide there and they again go back to email and calls. So first of all, you think from the user's point of view and list what the user actually need to request. Okay. And then it's time for grouping into a clear categories and portals like IT, HR, and facilities. This also one of the main thing here which you have to do. Okay. After that, when it comes to form level, keep each form short and only ask information that fulfiller teams really need. Okay. You should not ask unnecessary details there. After that, wherever you see the opportunity to create bundles or packages for common scenarios like new joining or something like that onboarding. Okay. So in that case, you can go for it. Even after go live as well, you can keep an eye on that and see where is the opportunity to merge or remove the catalog items. Okay. Based on the request, based on, all the reports which you get. So this is how you can build a good service catalog. Our next question is, how do you design and run major incident management in ServiceNow? So the major thing is here, you should not treat major incident exactly like a normal incident, because major incident need faster actions, clear roles, and stronger communication. So first of all, you have to design a clear criteria of what is a major incident as per your organization. Okay. You have to drill into your organization things, organization rules and regulations, and then find out or create that criteria. Okay, then you can add field flags, special workflows, automations in ServiceNow to handle these major incidents. And then it's time to define certain roles like major incident manager, communication owner, technical leads. Again, keep an eye on your organizational things and then use these roles. Okay. After you are done with the roles, now it's time to define the process, like how you share the update of this major incident with the people, with the teams. For example, through status pages or through regular notification. All these things you have to decide. And then finally, you make sure every major incident is linked to a problem record and it must have a post-incident review. So these all things you have to keep in mind while designing a major incident management there in ServiceNow or in your organization. Next question is, how do you use reports and dashboard to drive continual improvements? Yes, people are underutilizing these great options of reports and dashboards. Okay, so you should not build random reports or dashboards just because tool can do it, because if you do like this, people will ignore it and there will be no real empowerment, no real improvement you see there. First of all, you have to ask the managers and the teams what questions they are looking for from the data, what kind of answers they are looking from any of the problem. Okay, and then once you have the clear KPIs and matrices, after that you can basically design the reports. Once you have these reports and dashboards ready, it is also important to show these things on the meetings so that people understand that these are the reports which are available and these are the reports which actually value, okay, which actually provide value to you, to your team, taking decisions, okay, getting improvements and much more things. Okay, and then finally you check over time if these actions are actually improving the numbers or not. Okay, and then you can verify your dashboards as well. Let's move to question number 19. Many tickets are on hold waiting for customer for weeks. How do you fix this? Okay, so this is a real-time problem. So in one instance, you can say that you should not allow tickets to sit on this status for many weeks, because if you are doing this, your queue may look clean, but in reality, service is not yet being delivered and the frustration level is up to the mark. Okay, so first of all, you analyze how tickets are on hold, why they are on hold, how long they are on hold, and for what reason they are on hold. Okay, and then next step is to check your business rules or SLAs and see how they behave when the tickets is on hold. And then you review your email templates and messages to make sure you ask customers clearly for the information. Okay, and you also have to create certain kind of auto closure things there, auto closure business rules, so that if this particular ticket is on hold from customer for a very long time, it should auto close. Okay, this is also one of the thing which you have to take care, obviously, after consulting and after looking through various options there. And then finally you can train your agent as well on the correct use of on hold. Okay, so this is how you can take care of this. Finally, we have our last question here. How do you handle scope creep during a ITSM implementation? So what is a scope creep? It means the project is expanding like anything. There is no scope to the project. Okay, so you are adding things, then you are adding other things, then you are adding other things. So in this case, you should not keep adding new requirements into the project without any control. Okay, there must be a control established, because if you do that, timeline slips, obviously quality will also drop and everyone get confused and frustrated. Okay, so first of all, you have to maintain a clear scope, okay, and a backlog there that shows what is the current phase and what is not the current phase. Okay, you must have a clear scope there. But yes, you may have a new idea or some future enhancement, so you can log every new idea as a change request or a future enhancement instead of just adding that into your current project. So it should not be like this only. Okay, it may be possible that the customer is adding new things on every time. So this is also one of the things which you have to share with the customer. You can explain the impact of each and every new item on time, on delivery and quality and the cost. Okay, all these things should be shared with the customer so that they understand the consequences of adding new things without any scope. Okay, so all these things will be there. And finally, when you and customer are on the same page, you can add new sprints, you can add new timelines there so that you can accommodate what new things are coming in the way. So this is how you do all these things. Okay, so this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done with these interview questions. I will come up with more real-time realistic things to share with you. Subscribe to the channel and thank you.